My mom called me like, "Hey, can you come home, please?" And she told me my father was diagnosed with cancer. And that really took me down, like, to the beginning. What really hooked me was alcohol. And then I started, like, being an alcoholic as a, like, 13-year-old, being alcoholic. And no one really knew, like, my family never knew about this stuff. They never cared, though. It was pretty bad, like, pretty bad for a 13-year-old to do this.
Hey guys, sorry to interrupt, but I noticed a huge portion of you are not subscribed. Guys, I never thought I'd be saying this, but we are so close to 100,000 subscribers. I just want to thank you guys so much for all your love and support lately. So if you enjoy my content, then please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. It only takes 1 second and it really helps a lot. This video shout out is from Twitter. Thank you, Jan, for being awesome. Now let's get back to the video.
So basically, I was bullied when I was young, like 6-year-old. And I was dealing with depression since I was a kid. But I never had a family to share. Like, I lived with my parents and my family, but I was like a ghost. We never really talked. They never asked, like, how I'm doing and stuff like that. So that led me to being really lonely and stuck in my room. My parents struggling financially. And this is one of the things that made my childhood being what it is. They were going through almost a divorce, but they didn't divorce. And when I joined middle school, things went like downhill, like really downhill. Basically, I was bullied there too. And that's where I met like my friends. Not really friends. And they introduced me to alcohol, drugs, and stuff like that. I got into first smoking cigarettes, and then they introduced me to alcohol, and I really liked it because I found it like an amazing way to escape reality, me being stupid. And then after alcohol, they introduced me to drugs, like psychedelic drugs and stuff like that, you know, things that really mess with your head. And I got hooked to it, but not that much. What really hooked me was alcohol, and then I started like being an alcoholic as a like 13-year-old, being alcoholic. And no one really knew, like my family never knew about this stuff. They never really like noticed, so they never cared though. It was once or twice a day, like a bottle a day, pretty much. It was pretty bad, like pretty bad for a 13-year-old to do this. And I was like doing really bad in school. I skipped school to buy drugs and alcohol and cigarettes. Because I never had money, I was stealing stuff. And when I was in school, I was either like drunk or high. And then there was this one lady who was like noticing me that I have issues. So I told her like all of my problems, and she was kind of shocked about it. And that's when I found out like about what depression is, and that you can have depression and how to deal with depression, but it was hard to deal with. And like this woman talked to my parents, but my parents never really accepted it. They thought she was lying and that I'm a good kid. I got to a point where I was 16, like right before high school, and I told myself like, look, it's either you kill yourself or either you do something with yourself. And then like I get a lot of calls, like a lot of calls from my parents, brother and sister. And yeah, they found me at a situation where I was about to commit. I have a picture like in my head that will never leave me, of my mom crying and asking me like, why were you trying to commit suicide? And at that point, like everything that I held in my heart, like all those years, I screamed at her. I was like, I needed you at the worst times of my life. I needed you. I needed to be safe, but you were never there, and I don't feel like I have parents. I don't feel like I have family. She was kind of like shocked by it, but she was like realizing that it's true. I've had a dog who was with me since I was 3, and we had to put him down because he was 17 and suffering. So this was like a really big hit for me. After my dog died, I think 2 weeks after that, my dad had to go through surgery. And a month or 2 months after that, my girlfriend broke up with me. And I really, really loved her. Like, really loved her. She was everything for me. And I thought she's gonna be my fiance. So, like, I was really tempted to go back. And I was afraid to go back and do everything I've done before. But because I have tattoos. One of them was when I was 15 with a skull and sword in it with fire and water around it. It's on my arm. The skull means like my past and everything I've been through. And the sword in it means like it's killed this past. And fire and water around it means like doesn't matter what happened, never give up. Like never give up. And the skull I have here, like on the avatar too. This one means like the new soul, because at the time I felt like I've grown to be a new person, and as today I don't feel like I'm the same person as I was. And I have a samurai sleeve all over here with a pagoda. It's like the house of the samurai, and the samurai means the soldier been through all of this stuff and he's still fighting. And it's all with it got a moon behind it because like I'm more of a night person. And the pagoda means like I'm more of a house person. I don't like going to parties and stuff like that. And I have a rose on my neck. I wanted to show my mom how much I appreciate her. Her name in Hebrew is flower, and her favorite flower is roses. And I wrote the first letter of her name under it to show her just like how much I appreciate her, because she's been through a lot because of me. I realized like committing suicide wasn't successful. Let's try to make my life better. And I found a school where you can learn a profession. So I went there to study auto engineering. When I had my first like big exam, my mom called me like, can you come home please? And she told me my father was diagnosed with cancer. And that really took me down like to the beginning of like again doing drugs, alcohol, cigarettes and stuff like that. And depression hit me really hard. And I was starting to like doing bad at school again. I've had a teacher, she was like the most amazing person, and she noticed that like something is wrong. And then she like took my parents and me to have a talk and stuff like that, and she made our relationship really, really better. She got us to the point where my mom would hug me. It sounds funny, but yeah, my mom never hugged me. So because of her, I started to do really good again, and I stopped smoking, I stopped drinking, I stopped doing drugs. From when I was like 17, I stopped doing all of this till now. I'm 21 now. And I was doing really good at school. And when I got to like finishing high school, like graduating, I graduated as the best student in my school. And it was a really like amazing moment, and my parents were blown away by it, because my parents thought that I will never like finish school, and they thought nothing will ever came out of me. They thought that I will be like nothing, or either like a drug addict on the streets. So after I graduated high school, I got an offer to college. I studied in college, and then I got in a relationship with someone I really loved. Things were going like great, and then I had to join the army. When I joined the army, things kind of hit it back, and depression hit me. And I was really tempted into going into like doing drugs, alcohol, cigarettes and stuff. I was at a point where I wasn't smoking cigarettes, but I was doing alcohol. I was drinking a lot of alcohol, trying to escape it. And my depression and an anxiety was like at the top, like really bad. I was in a boot camp, and that's where I've had like one of the worst panic attacks, like a really bad panic attack where my whole body was frozen and felt like a stone, and everyone around me was shocked by it and afraid. So I left the army, and I was kind of lost for like 2 months, 3 months, not knowing what I'm gonna do with my life. I went and like tried to look for jobs and stuff, and no one really accepted me. I got a call from Mercedes in Israel, and they told me like, "Do you want to come and work for us?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, why not?" And I think that I made my parents really, really proud because of what I'm doing now. Like, I'm 21 now, and now I have a really good job that I really love. This job allows me to pretty much buy whatever I want and do whatever I want. I own a car now that I bought myself. I'm trying to be strong and not to go back. I'm not smoking, I'm not doing drugs, I'm not drinking alcohol that much. Be strong and never give up. You can do whatever you want, you can be wherever you want, but stay strong. Don't go back there. You know what you've been through. Always drive forward and be the best person you can be. Thank you.
If addiction is something you suffer from, you should definitely take this guy's advice and keep on moving forward and don't look back. If this video helped you in some way, you should definitely check out another one, and feel free to join our Discord server and follow me on Twitter.